8 days on, 13 days off. If you've watched my content for any length of time, then you've probably already seen this video about the Unicorn FIFO roster that I landed. 1 week on, 2 weeks off. Right, so I just come off 11-day stint, back working FIFO again. And number one question I got asked when I was there was what roster I was on. And every time I told them what roster I was on, the answer was the same. It was like, how the did you get that roster? It was pretty simple. Here's the thing, but I'm not sharing it for bragging rights. I'm sharing it because I'm building something. I'm calling it Fractional FIFO because it's the start of something that I'm building called the Reserve Bench, which are a team of operators that can plug into a complex site fast, sort out chaos, and help you create flow. This is the first test, so I'm taking it on myself to set the standard for how it's done.
Please be nice.
So if you're running a project and you need someone short term to come in and help steer the ship, or you know someone on a project that does, DM me the words Fractional FIFO and let's have a chat. And to everyone that says you might have got that roster once, Beanie, but it'll never happen again, all I can say is hold my beer, because as John Wayne was famous for saying, it ain't bragging if you did it. Alright, so the roster is 8 days on, 13 days off. So essentially, one on, 2 off. What happened?
Okay, hey, grab the net. Okay, pull back.
When you're behind, when things aren't going to plan, the numbers aren't saying what you would like them to say, it's easy to stop looking at them, to try to ignore them, to create a story around why they're not a true reflection of what's actually going on. That's exactly the time that you've got to be looking at them, and looking at them on a daily basis. Tell the story that Cool Tower will forecasting we're going to earn 2,200 hours per day. Reality was we were getting somewhere between 1,000 to 1,200. GM, obviously, was losing confidence, constantly asking, what are we doing about fixing this problem? Every project's got a moment where someone has to stand up and say the truth. It's not a popular exercise, and you won't be popular if you're the person that does it, but it needs to happen. The truth was, I said to them in a meeting, I come into this late. I'm not hiding from the fact that we have problems to fix. But all of you who are in here pointing fingers, asking questions, are to blame for the position that we're in right now. Didn't say it that calmly or collected. It was actually lost, you know what? I said, we can fix this, but I'm not Harry Potter. I don't have a magic wand, and it's not going to turn around in 5 minutes. You're going to have to give us this some time to actually work, which is exactly what it did. We didn't actually use it on this project, but I've since learned a process called ORCA, which will stop you getting into those situations. I'll run you through the story a little bit right now, a bit more about what happened. Then we'll run through the ORCA process, and I'll show you how that works and why it's called Christian Burkosis, the next fighter pilot. ORCA process actually comes from fighter pilots who execute their missions 98% of the time what they call flawlessly. It is, things aren't perfect, things don't go to plan, but they still get the mission done. We'll show you why it's the most powerful tool, as he calls it, on the planet. All right, so what was going on? The EGM, everyone was looking at the wrong target. They were just blaming. The people are no good. Got the wrong team on this. They don't know what they're doing. They're running around in circles. They are spinning their wheels. Crew was copping all the blame for it. It's the worst crew that we've ever seen on a construction site, blah, blah, blah. On and on and on and on and on. As I said, the same team was within 90 days. I think it was within 60 because I started the day after Australia Day. So what, 26th of January and 28th of March. Well, early April is when we first delivered. So somewhere between 60 and 90 days, we blew that out the water. We didn't just go for, this one says went to 3,000 plus per shift. We didn't hold at that, but we certainly did well over that figure. In fact, the highest figure we got, no one ever published because no one ever believed that you could get to it, was in excess of 4,400 hours earned in a shift. Exact same people. We didn't do it by adding more. We did it by eliminating waste. If you look at from a lean perspective, 10% of everything that you do every day is what drives your results. 9% of it is what they call, that 10% is what they call a value added activity. That's what we've got focused on. How do we double the value added activity? That's how that figure went up so much. 90% of it, which is what they call non-value added activity, is waste. I actually had an argument with the operations manager for the contractor on one day, shortly after I'd lost my mind in the call, and he said, "You've got to put more people on the job, Benny." I said, "We've got, not their fault, we had 200 people on site at that time. Good majority of them were standing around doing non-value added activity for a good percentage of the day." I said, "How is putting more people out there going to make anything move any faster?" He said, "That's the only way you can earn more is to put more people on the job." Yeah, you can tell what I thought of him. All right, the signal was upstream from the crew. Wasn't there. We looked there first. Decisions weren't getting made. We were bottlenecked at engineering. Materials weren't flowing to the job. Information wasn't getting out to the people that needed it. Work packs, drawings, all the things that they needed to be able to move faster. We increased the flow through the bottlenecks, which was the information flow. Well, it's generally always an information flow problem. First place you should look, my humble opinion. Wasn't the crew that were the problem. Were there better, or is there a better workforce out there? Probably. But the same people did up to 3 times. And they held, actually, when we went over to the other side, we held it well above 2,000 long term for months on end, earned value per day. And that was we had some exceptional stuff go on. We still had issues with materials. We couldn't keep materials up to them. They would have moved a lot quicker. Half that workforce, it became what they call outage season in Australia. So half of them went and did shutdowns. So we had to bring 100 new people in, retrain them all, get them all up to speed, and still held that figure. When we did a reset, we rebuilt the schedule. It was 2 units. We did 1 unit, finished 1 unit, we rebuilt the schedule for the second one. The guy that rebuilt the schedule, super smart, helped us set up the dashboards and the live scheduling. So we had live optics. We could see exactly what was going on, the live scoreboard. I said, we'll do a lot better on the second one than the first one, EV-wise. And he goes, the best we could put in, Benny, is 5%. You won't do any better than 5% increase in productivity from the first one to the second one, even though we doubled our productivity, well and truly, on a regular basis. Yes, you can't do any better than 5%. I said, I already have done better than 5%, but I said, we will do better than 5%. We did 17, as I say. That was mainly due to the fact that we had to swap the workforce out and we were constrained by materials so much. One conversation changed everything. Everyone was grinding, doing the 1,200 hours a day, head down, just trying to go harder. Do more of it, work harder. If we could just force it a bit more, it'll move. It didn't. The pivot was that conversation that we had that day, the conversation that no one wanted to have. You guys caused this. You are part of the problem. You are the problem. Once we realised that, and some of them actually put their hand up and agreed to that, the guy that was the EGM for the client, he agreed to it. The contractor didn't, they just kept playing the victim. Once they agreed to that, then we had a breakthrough. That's when we went to those really high, started heading towards those really high numbers. We got the buy-in. ORCA is a simple process. I wish I'd known it. We did something similar. We used some scrum meetings. What are you doing today? What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? What did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? What's holding you up? Spoke to numbers, put numbers on the board. I had the schedules penned on the whiteboard. When are you going to start? Was the only question. Not when are you going to finish. When have you got a crew freed up that they can go across and work on this job? ORCA aligns teams quickly. What's the objective? Where do we need to head to today? What results do we get trying to hit that objective? What caused those results? And what actions, if they're negative results, what actions do we need to put in place to mitigate them happening again? 14.4 minutes every day. It's not a meeting, it's what they call a debrief. It's a process. People don't sit down, lounge around in chairs, all the rest of it. Stand up, we pay attention, we get focused, and we have some key rules. It's nameless and rankless. It's not a finger pointing exercise. Use radical candor. We call out if we're not performing. Like I did, you guys are part of the problem here. I could have done a lot better than what I did, but it had, in the end, the shock effect that we needed to get the right people on board and kick them into gear. If it doesn't add situational awareness to the meeting, don't say it. This is not a meeting where you ramble on, or you ever seen those blokes that do the wankonomics? Talk to all the stuff that people say in meetings. We don't need any of that. Leave that stuff out. Is it helping us achieve more, do more, or is it not? 14.4 minutes, 1% of a 24-hour day is all it should take. All progress begins with the truth. That is a saying from Alcoholics Anonymous. All right, so you've got to face the numbers. Where we're supposed to be, or what are we actually doing? Change the process. How are we measuring ourselves? How do we start eliminating the non-value-added activity and drive that value-added activity factor up? You do that on a consistent basis. I'm not talking doing it once a week. I'm not talking to do it twice or when we feel like it. Every day. We turn up and we run that process every day. That equals high performance. At the moment, we're going to look at some data that I'm using with construction school in a minute. I've got a 5 a.m. alarm set, so I get up at 4:30. At 5 a.m. it says review your dashboard. I get a little notification on my phone. The numbers are not saying what I want to see at the moment. If I didn't look at them every single day, it's easy to go, you're busy, you're on an outage, you've got plenty of excuses not to move the needle. I start creating a story. Dashboard's real. It tells me what the numbers are. The numbers aren't where they need to be. You're not doing the causes that's going to create the effect that you want. It's just not happening. Something has to change to get a different result. Stealth Team Lab is where we do that on a daily basis. Once you set and you're using ORCA well, then we start layering in AI. How do we build that stealth team on a project that goes, so you get 5 people, and they will affect 3 or 4 people around them. And they affect 3 or 4 people around them. Before you know it, you get a full project team that's on the same page, headed in the same direction. All starts with this little process called ORCA. I'll let Christian tell you why he calls it the most powerful tool on the planet.
This is the most powerful tool on earth. As an organization, we helped 3 NFL teams win the Super Bowl by teaching them how to use this method by coaching. It's called debrief, and it's only 4 steps. Intention, expectation, or what we call objective. Reality or results, what we call result. Curiosity, or what we call cause, the cause of this gap in performance. And action, what am I actually going to do about it?
Action. What are we actually doing to solve the problem? All right, so this is a dashboard that I look at every single day. Key metrics I'm looking at is number 1, engagement, which is at the moment down again. Still down at, hovering down at 20%. So monthly, we're starting to trend sideways a little bit. What's our weekly activity look like? We're actually on a bit of a downward trend on the weekly. Daily activity, are we getting people in there daily? That's bouncing all over the place like nothing. This little heat map down the bottom here shows the days where people come to school and where they don't. It would be easy to ignore that. They don't turn up. They're not really serious about changing things. No, I'd have a look at how am I part of this problem? What is driving that from happening? The MRR is at 0. Nowhere near where I want it to be. This is why we set an impossible goal to hit $1 million in the next 12 months. Conversion rate, not overly worried about at the moment. My key concern at the moment is getting this up, the engagement, which is low. This is the dashboard. I told you I look at a dashboard every single morning. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the Stealth Team Labs. This one here tracks my ORCAs. Am I doing ORCA every single day? I have been doing ORCA every single day, but I've backed right off what I can do from a live perspective for a couple of reasons. Still saying, even where it says down here, a down day, I've still done ORCA, but actually I need to improve. I haven't updated these stats as well. I'm 51.5% of the way through 100 hours of doing ORCA live. And the target is to hit that 100 hours by Christmas, which I'm lagging on at the moment, but we'll get something in place. School engagement, 22 active of 109. Okay, so let's pull the data back there. Floodlight, that's the workshop. Haven't signed anyone up, haven't even run a promotion for it this week. Need to get my, you know what, out, get that moving. STL, that's the Stealth Team Labs, so we've got 0. Haven't got the 5 people in there yet. And our Masogi, we are 30% done. I need to update that as well. I haven't done that. YouTube watch minutes, this is a critical one for me. It's up to 50 minutes. There's a number that a guy that I follow in the coaching space worked out, which says that when people watch 48 minutes of your content, they're engaged in it. At that point, they're ready to buy. So I've put a lot of time and effort into, hence the reason why, let's go back and have a look at these little images. Put a lot of time into getting these right to make these stories more engaging, to make them people watch through this. This is built off a specific framework as well. Get these images right and get the content better on YouTube. So we've got more people watching for longer. All right, we said we'll show you how to run an ORCA, which I do with, if you haven't watched before, Claude, and we'll do it right now. So have you run an ORCA with your team yet? Use the Jing Yang formula. Hot dog? Yes, you have. Not a hot dog? No, you haven't. Drop it in the comments. Righto. Let's run you through the ORCA process right now. Ready to go, Claude? Still waiting to get Wi-Fi on in the house that I'm in. Been here, is this 4 weeks now? Telstra still haven't done it. Did yesterday's action get done? Yesterday's action was to run the weekend live. We're running it right now. Home or travel day? Home. Ask me that because I do a lot of travelling, and on the days where I travel, there are a high risk for me to not run my daily ORCA like this. Did you do your 2 practice runs before going live? Yes, I did. That was something else that we built in to get the video content up. The watch minutes was to practice their live intros twice before I run one. We figured that that was a spot where people were dropping off. Welcome back to another ORCA Live, June 7. Step 1 is the objective. We're looking at exactly what we set out to do today. What was the objective today? The objective today was to show people that when you don't want to review the numbers, that's exactly when you should, and to offer to come across and do some more work with me inside Stealth Team Labs in construction school, which is just down the bottom there. There you go, get it right at the top of that, school.com/scrum. Get across there and jump in if you're not in there already. Good objective, run the live, show people when you don't review the numbers is exactly when you should. Make the offer the Stealth Team Labs. Is it running right now? How is it landing? Yes, it's running right now. Our view time on YouTube is actually up last week. We're up to 50 minutes of watch time. It was 38 the week before, so that's an increase. That is a positive. So we'll see if we can increase by that much again next week. Actually, what's that percentage-wise as an increase, so we can aim for that next week. It's a 32% jump in 1 week. You're closing in on 48-minute conversation threshold and pushing past it. Is there a gap anyway? Are we debriefing a win? The gap is, I still haven't got the Floodlit workshop promotions and the workshop format, I suppose, nailed down. I need to focus on that this week. That's going to be one of the critical drivers, I believe, to getting those 5 people in the Stealth Team Labs. I want that sorted by, what is it now? By the end of July, I want those 5 people in the Stealth Team Labs. Let's see what he says about that. Hopefully, this is still on the side. Yeah, it's on the right mic. We're all good. Good, gap is clear. Floodlit workshops not nailed down yet. That's the vehicle to fill the 5 seats by the end of July. Why hasn't it been nailed down yet? Why? I've just let my attention. I'm short on time at the moment, okay? So I just haven't focused enough. I haven't set time aside to work specifically on that every day. Make good progress in other areas, but I need to get that finished. It needs to be finished this week, by next weekend, by next Sunday. As your root cause. Attention split across too many things. Floodlit hasn't been dedicated daily time blocked for it. Progress elsewhere, but the constraint isn't getting the focus it needs. That sits in execution prioritisation. One action, block specific time this week for floodlit. Who does what by when? Okay, I'm going to do a 50-minute session on floodlit daily each day this week. So that will happen between 6:30 and 7:30 at night. It's going to be a tough week to get that done. We'll give it a go. 50 minutes on floodlit every day this week, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Finished by next Sunday. That's the action. What's the objective for tomorrow? Get the first session done. First floodlit session done. Locked. Objective for tomorrow. First 50-minute floodlit session done. Good session today. Watch time climbing. Offer made live, and a constraint finally has a daily time block protecting it. 5 seats, end of July. The clock is running. Can we put, I don't know if you do it or not, what I might do is get a countdown timer added to the dashboard as well. So I can see the days left until the end of July. I love dashboards. Oh, I'll show you the update in a minute, actually. Did I log that? Log to sheet. Because I'll show you how this works. So I'll show you what I'm going to get done. Good idea. 2 ways to do it. One, write the Claude code prompt now and paste it into VS Code. It adds a countdown timer to the mission control dashboard showing days left until July 31. One component set next to the STL gauge. Add it to tomorrow's floodlit session. You're already going to be build. Add a countdown timer to the mission control dashboard. Timer should show days remaining until July. All right. I'm going to take that. I'll show you this right now. Let's do it. Why we are still here. I'll show you this dashboard, number 1. And then we'll copy that code across and get it to update it. What we need back is Ecamm Live, and you need to be able to see that there. So that's the dashboard. So we did today's live. As you can see, the previous update said day 195. We'll give that a click. Right. Hey, that's gone backwards. Why the hell would it do that? Oh, you'll have to get Claude to fix that as well. So let's pull our main Claude up. You're just looking at the dashboard at the minute. Let me open it before let you look at Claude. Content day, review blog, content week, content day. There was one here this morning that did the dashboard update. Actually, I'm not going to put you through all that at the minute. What we're going to do is just going to open a new session. We're going to take that code from Claude, the other Claude. It's Claude. I've got Claude code running. And then we've got that prompt that one just dropped out. Where to begin? Projects. Calling again. Come on. No, hadn't synced across again. Paste that code into the dashboard. Claude code prompt. Right. Let's see what happens when it does this. I read the dashboard first to find out. See, here away, it goes. I'll show you later, see what it's doing. In case you've never saw Claude before. I can't code. Not hope in hell. This is why I use Claude Code. It does all of this. Now I have the picture of the layout, tachometer. He's writing code. I'm sure he just asks me a question every now and again to make me feel like I'm actually doing something. It's adding the JavaScript, the countdown. On a refresh script. Wonder what this will come out like. Pulling sheets. What's the dashboard from a template? Check dashes. Refresh script. What my changes? I need to look at how it generates. So it's had a problem. Let's go and fix it. It's not quite working. I'll do something else to fix it. Now I understand. Refresh.py generates the HTML via build.html. I need to count down to its f-string template, not the static file. Of course, the old f-string versus static file. Get you every time, that will. Now I'll run the refresh again. See if the time's in place. Wrangling. Good, now verify the countdown. He'll probably open this. All 4 elements are present and done. The countdown timer is live. Okay. So do I just hit the update button and that'll come up? Is that how it works? Not quite. The button needs a local server running first. Let me check what's in the folder. You just open the HTML direct, double click it, update button will throw an error because that's server to receiver, but the dashboard itself still displays directly. What the server stays running is that terminal window. That sounds like a lot of nonsense to me. I just want to hit the refresh button or the refresh on the Google Chrome or the update button. Which one? I don't like it when it gives me jobs to do. Better it does it. Chrome refresh, no, just reloads whatever's on the page, no new data. Update button, yes, and if the server is running first. I can make a double clickable app on your Mac. No, I don't want a double clickable app on my Mac. Surely there's a way for you to update that page and open it for me. Well, you just open it with your changes. Sometimes you argue with it a little bit to get what you want. Exactly, just tell me update the dashboard and I'll run it and open it for you. Might have to build a little command here to do this. See what it does. Wow, look at that. Where's the timer? 5 seats. There it is. 5 seats, end of July. days left. Update. Server's not running. So this, we've got a problem, right? This is a high technical way of fixing a problem. Copy, Claude, fix it. People say, oh, it doesn't work. And tell them to fix it. This is rocket surgery. Button is useless in your workflow. Come on, you can do it. I should, well done. Play your little video. What? Oh, we're done. Day 61, they're the days that I didn't live stream. That's why they're red. 54 days to sell my 5 seats. We're on day 194. My win rate's 68%. 50 minutes of YouTube videos watched. Where's the update button gone? So the update button's gone now. Actually, you're not even looking at that. I better show you what he's done. That's what he's done. Do a little bit of playing to do here, a couple of things that aren't quite working right. That's how quick you can have dashboard up and running with Claude code. Take it, use it, make a great week. We'll speak soon. Just got to work out which one's the outro. Try this one. No, that's ORCA. Here you go. Speak soon. I'll do a quick recap on what you need to do to know to be able to work out your PM's capacity. Number one, you need to switch their thinking and know whether he is a task focus, cost focus. So at best, you're getting about 10% value added activity out of him, or whether you're getting someone who's up at this level up here, where you're getting 20% or more value added activity out of him. You need to know how much his context switching. You'd allow buffer in there, that 20% buffer out of his week. Then how much is he context switching? Work out how much he's losing to that. You need to understand what level of shit show that you're running. How much more stress are you adding on top of the constant context switching that he has to deal with? You need to know when can he plan this into his week. You want a copy of that sheet that I threw up before? I'll give you that so that you can actually go and structure it hour by hour, day by day. You need to factor in, have we got this process in place yet? Or when can we get this process in place so that we can start moving this 10% higher, up 20%, 30%, whatever it may be.